Well, this finishes our head-to-toe chapter lecture portion of the survey. We're going to do the demonstration portion of it right now in terms of actual hands-on. Do we have any questions before we get started? No questions before we get started? Well, in this portion, I'm going to need a volunteer. Any volunteers, takers for this portion of it? Anyone?
I'll do it.
Sure, come on up. Thank you very much. Now, you do realize that I'm going to be touching you from head to toe.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're in agreement with that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to move this right here, and I'm going to help you onto our table.
Okay, is this a good place?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to be safe here.
All right, hang on.
All right. All right. All right. So I'm going to use our gloves in terms of our personal protection with regards to assessment. This is covered in your chapters. And again, I'm going to be doing a head-to-toe survey with regards to checking for swelling, bumps, bruising, and any type of deformities. Okay, this is part of the assessment skill that will help us determine or gather any more information with regards to the injuries and extent of injuries of our patient. So with that being said, I'm going to talk my way through the process, which helps me remember, and if the person is sort of conscious or in and out, at least they know exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start with her head and work my way down her body. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to touch your head right now, see if I find any bumps, bruises, or deformities, any bleeding or anything like that. Every now and again, pulling my hand back to see if I find any bleeding or any fluid on my hands. Okay, looking at the ears, the head, coming down along the face, making sure I have symmetry along the face. Okay. Looking at the neck. Looking for symmetry, looking at both sides. See if anything's out of the ordinary that I may find or see. Checking the back of the neck, make sure you reach all the way around, because at one spot you miss, it may be something that's very severe. Checking the shoulders, coming down the arm, checking it very quickly, checking for any bleeding, deformities. Every now and again, pulling your hands back, looking at your patient. Okay, walk around the side. Now, this is very important because you do not want to reach over the person, okay, or slip, trip, or fall on top of the person, which will make it worse for the victim. Checking the other side as I did before. Okay, walking around the other side. Okay, continuing on with the chest, coming right down. Checking the ribs also. Moving from the ribs onto the abdomen. We check the sides, and you want to check both sides evenly, and you're just pressing in to see if you have what they call rebound tenderness, or you feel something that is completely solid in the area that should not be. Okay? Okay, so now the abdomen is done. Okay, we're going to move on down to the hips. You want to take the hips and push down, and you want to push in. Feeling for any crepitus or any movement of the bones or anything of that nature, and always visualizing and looking, as well as every now and again looking at the patient's face, okay? Now this is when you have to get really personal also. You have to reach in just to make sure you're not missing any spots for any bloods and feeling around. Okay, take the sheet off. Check for warmth. Okay. Now walk to the other side again. Get close and personal. Look for any blood, deformities, abrasions, bruises. Okay. Check for warmth and movement. Crepitus and movement. Okay, so we've done a head-to-toe survey. The last thing we want to do is check the back. This generally requires two people in order to assist in terms of moving the patient, because you may assume that the person has a neck and back injury. So you would take the arm that you've already checked, okay, and move it up over the person's head. Okay. And as a unison, we'll roll them towards me to make sure I'm in control of her at all times. Okay, keeping her head and neck back straight, roll towards me. I have her. Okay, checking the back of the head again, confirming your findings initially, see if anything has changed along the way. No bleeding, bumps, bruises, or crepitus found. Roll back off. No deformities. Lay her back down. Position of comfort. Probably cover her up to give her some decency and keep her warm. And something to consider along the way as you're doing this is to, if she had glasses on or something like that, to give them a sense of security, make sure the glasses go back on the person, just to make sure. And one of the last things you want to note is you have to document any findings that you may have. Do we have any questions? If no questions, what we're going to do right now, I'll help you up right here, and we're going to break off into the groups in order that we can demonstrate on each other and go from there, making sure we understand the head-to-toe survey and the patient assessment portion of this chapter. If no questions, we'll get started on that. Okay? All right. Thank you.